CentOS 7. Okay, CentOS 7 is not there. So let me download the CentOS 7. So we can estimate how much time it will require. Okay. So okay, see that. Okay, Vagrant init CentOS 7 is nothing but I'm trying to download a box. I'm trying to start a CentOS 7 box with the Vagrant up command. The provider is nothing but you can use whatever the provider you require. It may be VirtualBox, it may be VMware Desktop, it may be AWS, it may be Docker. That is up to you. By default, in my scenario, it will take okay Vagrant VirtualBox. So I need not to specify that. Okay, I need not to specify that. Okay, to get it. Okay, let us say I'm going into the projects directory. Okay, just to make my environment clear, so I'm creating a directory called projects. There I'm creating a directories and I'm going there. Let us say I'm going into the test directory. Okay, here I have a Vagrant file. Let me remove it. Okay. So here I'm trying to run a command. What I got it. So now you see that I'm running the multiple commands in a single go. Okay, fine. It will create a Vagrant file as well as it will start the server. So if you look at how much we'll try to check how much time it will take.
Yep.
So I'm using very normal network today as I'm in my native place. Actually, I'm not at workspace. Okay, see that it didn't find in my local repository. So it is the URL by default URL is this. So it is going and searching. See that how much time it is taking? 2 hours 47 minutes. Now 54 minutes. So the estimation time is almost 37 seconds. The transfer rate is 260 KB per second. So based on that, okay, it takes some time. But one time download, okay, if it is downloaded one time, next time onwards it need not to download from the site. So it can be boot from the local machine. So next time onwards, within a span of minutes, your server will get started. Okay, the first time it will take some time. Okay. So
yeah,
let us see some other question.
Raghu, one more question.
Yeah, I tried to download as well, and I thought I had done it correctly, but I don't see it on my computer, so obviously I did something wrong. I'm using a Windows 7 laptop, and I followed the instructions that were in the packet, and I thought it downloaded correctly, but I don't see it anywhere when I search for it on my computer.
Okay, let me show you guys step by step today. So Sharman, after the class, if you have any requirement, okay, if you have any lab issues or anything, after the class, you can sit with me. I'll try to make you present here so that I can see your screen and we'll try to resolve those issues if you have any lab issues. Okay. So this might take 1 or 2 days. First initial days we may have the lab issues. It is common for every batch. Okay. Even I installed very first time I had same issues. So okay. Very first time we may have the such kind of issues. We'll try to resolve. We'll try to make the presenter and resolve.
Raghu, Raghu, Raghu.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, for me there is no issue. I configured this Vagrant and I have changed the port and everything is working fine for me.
Good, super. So any other issues, guys? Did you find any issues? I hope it is very simple things what we learned yesterday. So I hope it doesn't too much difficult to work with that.
I have some. Raghu?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah,
please go ahead.
When I change this port number, the port number is not reflected because of I am not using this reload command. That's the thing. So rest of thing, everything is working fine.
Okay. So let me show you. I'm going to cancel this. Why? Because it is only 8%. It may take some time to download. So okay, to go forward with the class, I'm trying to close this session. Okay. So let me show you. As of now, there is a no. As of now, just whatever yesterday we discussed. Just I'll recap in a 5 minutes and we'll jump into the today's session. See, all the servers are in a state now. So what I'll do, I'll go into one of the projects. I'll go into one of my environment. It is something to say, okay, there is a, which server it is running? There is a demo folder in the demo folder. It is in a my data science toolbox. Okay, it is in my data science toolbox. CD my data science toolbox. Okay, here you see that there is a vagrant file. Let us say first command what we did yesterday, vagrant init. Vagrant init will initiate the report. Okay, vagrant file. Initiate the vagrant file. Then in the vagrant file, what is the box you want to add? You can add it by the vagrant init box name. Then I run a command called vagrant up. When I run the vagrant up, it will look at the vagrant file. As per the vagrant file, it will try to configure your virtual machine. So let us look at what is the my vagrant file that shows me. Okay, it tells us vi vagrant file. So it is saying that, see that it is Ruby. Okay, try to understand it is Ruby syntax. Don't worry, it is very simple. When we discuss Chef, we'll try to understand Ruby. Okay, so that it will be comfortable. So as of now, the syntax you try to understand. Okay, the vagrant configure, when I say do, okay, and config, this is a variable kind of thing I'm doing. The config here, see that, whenever I say config, the config dot VM box, config dot whatever, now onwards config dot. Whenever I say do, you have to end with that, okay, the program you have to end with. So the name I'm using is a Ubuntu Trusty 64. The Ruby syntax I'll explain you in detail when we are discussing Chef. Okay, so let us say you want to assign a private IP. Okay, config.vm.network private IP. If you want to have a DHCP, suppose, okay, instead of the IP you want to assign a DHCP. What is the DHCP option? Instead of assigning manually the IP address, automatically with the DHCP loop of IP, okay, pool of IP address, I want to pick up one IP address. So you have to say, instead of IP, you have to say type here DHCP. I'll show you those settings. Okay. So that's, if you go into this particular way, you can show, it will tell you all the things. Let us say you want to sync any particular folder. Let us say the data folder you want to sync, and that need to be mounted on my virtual machine with the vagrant underscore data. You can share whatever the folder you want. Okay. So if you go ahead with this, now let us say you want to assign one particular 1 GB of RAM. See that again, this is another configuration, config.vm provider. Here they are saying that VB. VB dot graphical interface, yes, true. VB dot memory, you required, how much memory you required? 1024. Okay, these are all the things we'll practice now. Okay, so if you want to if you want to define any vagrant push strategy, if you want to push it to centralized repository, after that or else you want to execute a shell. You want to, yesterday we discussed provision in a sense, in a DevOps terminology. When I say provisioning, is nothing but you are installing some software somewhere automatically based on the script you have given. Okay, so the provisioning shell, if you want to provision a shell script, so what you can do, you can write a VM provision shell. Whatever the shell script you say, it will execute on your machine. Okay, it is commented out as of now. I'll give you all the details at the end. You have to see. So, okay, let me show you some of the syntaxes in some of the structure of the here. So I say vagrant up as of now. Okay, when I say vagrant up, whenever you say vagrant reload or vagrant up, so what it does, it will look at your vagrant file. Okay, it will look at your vagrant file and configure your virtual machine or else guest machine or instance, okay, on your environment. See that it is port number 822 actually the guest, but it is port forwarding to 2222. Now how can you connect it? It is configuring two networks, one is NAT, one is host only. So see that it is assigning, you can connect your virtual machine based on your loopback address and port forwarded to 2222. One way to connect this one is either this particular one. Already you know that, okay, the private IP address, that is 172.128.128.100, that I configured. Either you can connect in that particular way. The third way is you can run a command vagrant SSH. you can run a command vagrant SSH. Sometimes if you are using a CentOS machine, you may have some problem with your private key. What is private key, public key? I'll explain all those things whenever there is a requirement. So sometimes you may face with a problem with a private key. It may not authenticate with your private key. So what you have to do is, at that particular scenario, remember that when you are using a CentOS or Linux machine, you may face this. To resolve, you can find these kind of errors. Okay, a remote connection disconnect retrying kind of thing. Now it is okay. It is rebooted now. If you find such kind of issues with your CentOS machine or Red Hat machine, so what you can do is you connect with the loopback address very first time. Connect your loopback address or else okay, vagrant SSH kind of thing. And once you connected to that particular machine, okay, if you find okay, so I say what I do. Okay, now who am I? I'm a vagrant, right? So with the user called vagrant, I'm trying to connect. You could see here .sh folder. There is a one file called authorized underscore keys. Check that. What is the permissions you have for that file? If you look at, make sure that okay, if it is not working fine, make sure that chmod 600 and authorized underscore key. Run that command. So that okay, if you have any other permissions, make sure that you have a 644 permission from the 644 in the sense I want to give read write permissions to the owner. That is, who is the owner? Here the vagrant is the owner of the file. Okay, read write permissions I want to give it. So just run this command. Immediately it will try to connect. Okay, let me show you. Sometimes I may face that issue. I'll show you that now. Okay, let's start one CentOS machine so that okay you can find it. So we'll try to see what are the vagrant boxes we have. Vagrant box list. Okay, when I say vagrant boxes, it will list all the boxes whatever I have. So I have one CentOS machine is this particular one. Let me copy this and I say CD projects. Okay. So let me show you. I can say vagrant init, and I say with the CentOS I want to start it. So it will try to boot it in a while. Okay. So okay, I didn't run a vagrant up, so let me run a vagrant up now. So when I say vagrant up, sometimes you may face such kind of issues with the Linux machine. To avoid that issues, so make sure that you are given a right read write permissions to your machine so that it automatically executes. Okay, so it is a new Linux machine, the CentOS machine. We are trying to boot. So with the default options. Okay, let it boot. We'll try to discuss some other things. Okay, so let us take another git bash. And where exactly the box is added. When we add a box, where exactly added? All those things we'll try to understand. So all the configuration details of your vagrant, okay, you could see that in a .vagrant file. Okay, if you look at where is cd.vagrant.d, this is your configuration management of the vagrant file. Right? In my home directory, there is a directory called vagrant.d. If I go into that particular directory, you could find all the details of your vagrants. There is one special folder called .vagrant.vagrant. When I cd into that, and when I ls, it does, you see that n number of details. These are all the vagrant boxes. You see that boxes folder. Okay, if you go into that particular boxes folder, okay, see that, okay, here you could see all the boxes, whatever you have. Okay, see, these are all the different boxes you have. Right. So these are all the boxes details where exactly it is. Okay. So if you want to list any boxes, when I say vagrant box list, where it is going? Here it is going and it will list the vagrant boxes. Okay. So let us see what is the status of the other machine, what we just started. So it is trying to boot. This time the port number is 2200. Every machine it has its own its own port number. This particular time the port number is 2200. See that now you may face in a vagrant, you may face some time issues with the private key. So it is trying to authenticate. Authentication method is with the private key. So let us see. Okay, okay. Most of the times you may face. Okay, it is not mandatory. You may face with a issue with your line extension. So it is connected without any issues. Fine. So if you have any issues, connect with the loopback address or vagrant SSH command and go there, and you are in your home vagrant home directory. There will see that authentication failure. It is retrying. It will keep on retrying. So what I'll do, I'll copy this. Okay, and I make sure that I connected with my loopback address. The port number is 2200 as of now here. Okay, for this particular instance, 2200. Open it. Here the username and password is by default. Okay, vagrant. It is not mandatory that okay, vagrant will use only vagrant and vagrant based on that particular image who prepared it. Based on that, it may change. So okay, when you are using that, you have to be understand that. So let us say I say .ssh. Here you have some authorized underscore key. See that, okay, it is still retrying kind of thing, right? So it is trying to authenticate. When I say chmod 600 on authorized underscore keys, so immediately see that it has changed, right? So immediately it has changed. So sometimes if you may face issues with the CentOS. If you have such issues, just go and now onwards when you say vagrant up, it will directly. Is that clear? Sometimes you may face this issue, so that okay, if you have such issues, just try to resolve them. This particular way. So let us do some changes to this particular instance. Okay. So as I told you, if you want to assign a particular details, like okay, if you want to assign a, okay, I think you all installed these settings. So one of the vagrant, in a vagrant file, if you see the examples, generally the box, whatever the box you want to use, you have to specify that box for config.vm box location, and okay, and whatever the port forwarding you want to do, specifically sometimes if you want to port forward from your host machine to the guest machine, the guest machine is 80 and host machine is 8080. Host is in the sense my Windows operating system. So someone on my Windows machine, someone connected on port number 8080, I want to redirect it to port number 80 on my virtual machine. That is the understanding. So if someone says on the machine with IP address or host name with the :8080 port number, it should redirect to port number 80 on my virtual machine. That is the setting. Okay. So if you want to assign a particular IP address, private IP address, you can assign private IP, then IP address. So if you see that, and if you want to share any particular data, so sync folders data shared in this particular way. Okay. So if you want to execute any shell script, you can say the VM provisioning shell and shell script. Whatever you want to execute, you can execute it. So okay, this is one thing. If you want to execute a multiple servers, so that if you want to add, suppose in your application you require two servers. One is the server 1, server 2, or else one is a web server, one is an app server. Okay, one DB server. So how can we configure it? So the config level, see small changes. Config.vm define server 1. I am defining server 1. That I am variabilizing it as server 1. Server 1.vm box is this one. And server 2.vm box is this particular. That means you are managing two instances, two guest OSs in one particular Vagrant file. So you can maintain multiple operating systems, multiple machines in one Vagrant file. Okay, let us see that. How can we do that? Okay. So if you have any doubts in these commands, please let me know. So Vagrant version will display the Vagrant. Okay, Vagrant box add will add the new box. Vagrant box list means it will list you all the available boxes. Vagrant box remove means it will remove the box. Vagrant init means it will initialize the Vagrant file, a standard Vagrant file. Vagrant up will look at your Vagrant file, local directory Vagrant file, and it will start the server. Vagrant SSH to command to connect your Vagrant, the new virtual machine. Vagrant SSH to connect your new virtual machine. Vagrant halt is nothing but stop the running server. Let us see. Now there are two running servers are there, right? So I want to stop one particular server, suppose my data science toolbox. Okay. So what I can do, just I can run a command called vagrant halt. So that what happens, it will shut down that particular computer, or else it will stop that running vagrant box. Okay, I'll show you that. So I hope it is these are all commands you are comfortable, right? So vagrant reload. What is the vagrant reload does? In your vagrant file, if you have configured anything, if you have changed anything manually, so if you want to get that effect on your machines, so what you can do, you can run a command called vagrant reload. Yesterday we have seen, right? We have given a private IP to my vagrant file, and to get that effect. Okay, so what I did a vagrant reload. So what happens? It will restart the virtual machine. Again, it will look at the vagrant file, and it will start the server. So vagrant suspend the virtual machine, nothing but it will pause that particular server. Okay, vagrant, if it is suspended, you can resume it by running command called vagrant resume. Vagrant destroy means it will destroy. Yes.
Yeah. When we go for in which scenario go for vagrant up and which scenario go for vagrant reload?
Yeah, that is what. See, initially you started a server. You want to start a server, you can run a command called vagrant up. So after some time, you want to assign a particular, let us say you want to increase your RAM size. You want to increase the disk space. You want to share any particular folder. You want to give a host name. Let us see a simple example I'll give. Let us see a simple example. If you look at my one particular Linux machine, okay, let us see the Linux machine. If you look, oh, it is disconnected, inactive. Let me restart a session.
Why? Because actually I changed the flow. Raghu?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is I changed the port address in that means file using this vagrant tab is not reflected, and using this vagrant reload, then only the port address is updated.
Yeah, if you have changed anything, that you have to done with okay, that one. Okay, let me show you a simple example. So if you look at the host name, what is the host name of the server? The host name is localhost.localadmin. So it is not the right way to maintain the host name, right? So what we can do, we can assign a right host name. How can we assign a host name? Or else if you see that if config -a, so what is the IP address? It doesn't have a private IP address. If you want to have a private IP address, or if you want to set up an IP address, what you have to do? Let us say cd, so etc/sysconfig. Here you could see that VI network, right? Okay, if you see that here you have to set up your host name. You have to go here and you have to set up the host name here. And if suppose one system, okay, we can go here and we can set up the host name and we can make it as a permanent. To make the system host name permanent, you have to go to cd etc sysconfig vi network level. In a network, there is an option called networking should be yes, and host name should be as per your requirement. Let us say mylab.local.com. Okay, let us say my setup, my host name is okay, let us say new server dot mylab dot local. So actually the server name is new server and domain name is mylab dot local, suppose. Okay, so I'm saving this, right? So if you want to get this effect, now you see the host name. Still it is localhost.localadmin, right? You have to restart the services and all, so then it will reflect it. And whenever restarting your system, whenever booting your system, it will look at your etc config network file and it will check what is my host name. Okay, okay, well now we assigned, okay, the system name is server1.mylab.local, so that system name will be assigned over here. Instead of all these things, if you want to make it in a Vagrant file itself, you can say config.vm.hostname and whatever the hostname. So what it does, now you want to change hostname, what you can do, you can go to Vagrant file, assign a right proper hostname or IP address, or whatever the things you want, you can do that and you can start the server. So when you now you changed in a Vagrant file. Now now what you have to do, get that effect, you have to run a Vagrant reload. When you run a Vagrant reload, so what happens? It will try to look at your Vagrant file and will start it. Am I clear with the Vagrant up and Vagrant reload, guys? What is the difference between Vagrant up and what is the difference between Vagrant reload?
Yeah, Raghu, one more question to go. Raghu? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah, when first time I'm creating this Vagrant file, using Vagrant in it, I'm creating a Vagrant file, right? So the Vagrant VM box is default. So I will change this Vagrant box name, that means some CentOS 7, right? So in that time, I'm not able to reload. Just I'm able to up, correct?
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, next time I will change next time any changes in Vagrant file, I need to use a Vagrant reload, correct?
Yes, you are right. Yes.
Thank you.
So every time you need not to go into VI that particular file, edit the way your box name. Directly you can run a command Vagrant in it with the box name. It may be CentOS 7, it may be Ubuntu, okay, whatever the box you are using. Okay. So let us see some advanced things. Okay, if you want to maintain a multiple operating systems in one particular go, how can we go forward? Okay. So let us do one thing. I'll try to use some of the commands called, okay, Vagrant halt, okay, Vagrant destroy, and Vagrant resume kind of thing. Okay, let us say Vagrant halt. What it does? When I say Vagrant halt, okay, so when I say Vagrant halt, so what it does, it will stop that particular server. So when I say Vagrant halt, so if you see that there is a server called test, it is running, so it will go into the stop state. So why we are discussing very first class of the Vagrant, so it is for your lab setups. Every lab if you want to set up, we can go with the Vagrant. So okay, it is very okay. With the Vagrant we can create a disposable environments, so that okay, you can create a number of environments whenever there is a requirement. Immediately you can start it and you can concentrate on actual labs instead of configuring servers, instead of setting host names, network, IP address and all. Instead of wasting up time for setting up the lab, so one single command, it will set up entire your lab and you can concentrate actual program. It may be Chef, it may be Puppet, it may be Jenkins, it may be Docker, such kind of things. Okay? So if you look at that, the server, it is in stopper state now. It is in a powered off state, right? Okay, there is a question.
I have one question here, Vijay.
Yes,
You are trying to start Vagrant to one machine at a time, right? You cannot do
yes.
it to multiple machines, multiple boxes or
That's
something like
what
that?
we'll jump into that now.
Okay, good.
So there is a question from Parvez. When he ran a Vagrant up, okay, so the question here is arson could not be found in your path. CentOS 7 is up to date. Arson is okay. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, there is some plugins are required. That is what I'm going to discuss for which. Sometimes if you may find that particular issues, okay, I'll try to resolve those step by step. I'm trying to give you all kind of scenarios, what kind of issues you face. Okay, so there is a plugins option. Okay, Vagrant level, there is a plugins. Okay, what are the plugins are there? What is the use of the plugins? Okay, those things we'll try to understand. Before that, can we have some small quiz kind of thing on a Vagrant? Whatever we discussed till now. So okay, okay, that is up to you. Like if you want me to go through, I'll go through, or else okay, we can skip it.
Yeah, we can have it, Raghu. Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'll give you some quiz kind of option. So, do we require box need to be added to your local machine to start any Vagrant, any particular server? The question is that required? A box need to be added. Okay, let me take a notepad and have a quiz. So, is that required? Any box need to add into your repository to start a virtual machine? Yes or no? If okay.
Raghu, my understanding is when we try to use that command, it brings up the virtual machine and also it adds, and also the box gets added.
Yes,
So
you are right.
is
So
yes.
it is not
Okay.
required. Yeah, it is not required that you need to download first. Okay, so automatically it will download and it will add it to your repository based on the box you are given in a your Vagrant file, right? So that is the first understanding. So let us say second. When I say which Vagrant box, okay, let us say I'll give you a command kind of option. Second question in this way. So which Vagrant box. Okay, I'm giving a command. Okay, you treat this one as a command. Okay, Vagrant box. What is the sub command sub option you have? Okay, sub command you have show all the available boxes. To show all the available boxes in your environment.
Vagrant box
List.
list.
Yes. Right. You are right. Vagrant box. Okay, list. So let us see some other questions. Okay, let us see some other questions now. Okay, let us say, okay, let us say in this part, okay, 1 minute. What are the questions we have? I'll try to collect more questions now onwards and I'll give you when we, okay, let us see some plugins. Also plugins level, we have more, we can discuss more questions. These are all very simple things till now discussed. So that, okay, when we discuss the plugins, we can discuss much more. So let me discuss the plugins. The next topic is Vagrant plugins. So plugins are helpful to integrate with any other third-party things. Let us say you want to integrate with AWS. Okay, we want to integrate with AWS. So what we can do, we can add a plugin called AWS plugin, kind of Vagrant AWS plugin. Okay, so let us see Vagrant plugins. Okay, as of now it is not there. I think in PPT we have to update that in our system. As of now it is not added, the Vagrant plugins. So I'll try to integrate those things when we discuss a Chef as well. Okay, so as of now, Vagrant plugins. If you look at the Vagrant plugins and want to add it, okay, let me see what are the plugins you find. Okay. Okay. So meanwhile, we'll check what are the plugins are available in my environment. Okay, Vagrant plugin list. If you run the Vagrant plugin list, it will list you what are the plugins already added into your machine. Okay, what are the plugins are already added into your machine. So if you want to add more plugins, yes, you can add just like a boxes you list, right? You list, add, that kind of things. You see that there is a one plugin called, okay, list. Okay, there is a plugin called rsync. Omnibus is for chef. Omnibus is for chef. Okay, let me show you what are the how to get a help of this one. Vagrant help plugin. When I run this command, it will tell you what are the available commands are there in your plugin level. So it is bit slow, but it is as it is a Windows machine. So if you have used any Linux machine, it will be very fast. Mac or anyone. So see that. Okay, what are the options you have? Vagrant box. Okay, sorry, Vagrant plugin install, license, list, uninstall, and update. These many options you have. Okay, these many options you have. So what are the available Vagrant plugins? We'll try to list it. Okay, first, okay, if we want to install any particular plugin, we want to list it. What are the available Vagrant? Okay, available Vagrant plugin. Okay, so there are n number of plugins are available. So Vagrant plugin available. Okay, Vagrant plugin. Let us say available Vagrant plugins. Okay, let us see what are the Vagrant plugins are available. Okay, a list of Vagrant plugins for Vagrant. Okay, so there are n number of plugins are there. Based on your requirement, you can install. So okay. So for chef, we have a separate Vagrant file. See that? Okay, these are all the different plugins. Sorry, these are all the different plugins. These are all the open source, and okay, it is available on online whenever you require. Okay, you can get it and you can use that. Okay. There is a one plugin. Let me show you. Okay, I install. What are the plugins I install? I'll try to explain those things. If you look at the Vagrant, one of the plugin. Here it is. The Vagrant VB guest to search it. Okay, what exactly it does. Control F and V. Okay. Vagrant VB guest. 1 minute. I think it is not there. Let us see some other. In your GitHub project, there are n number of plugins are listed. Let us see that. Control F and try to search. Okay. See that? Okay. The Vagrant VB guest automatically upgrade the Vagrant boxes guest addition if necessary. That means, let us say I added a one box. Let us say CentOS 7. I downloaded it from the ashicop.com, but it is updated. There is a new version. There is some updates happening in that particular box. When it is Vagrant up, you want to automatically update the Vagrant box. Yes, you can add the plugin called Vagrant VB guest. Okay, if you want to add that particular one, what you can do? Vagrant VB guest. This particular plugin, if you add it, it automatically search that. So how to install it? So you can run a command, Vagrant plugin, and install that particular plugin name. Okay, so let me show you. We'll try to install some other Vagrant plugin, SCP files to your host VMs. Okay, guest VM is nothing but your virtual machines. Host VM is host VM. Guest is nothing but your virtual machine. Let us say if you want to use this particular plugin. Okay, how to use this particular one? S3 authentication is nothing but your AWS S3 is one of the storage content we'll discuss in our class. So there is one. How to use that? Vagrant SCP in this particular way you can use it. But how to add it? Let me do one thing. If you want to uninstall any particular plugin, okay, I have a VB guest. Okay, we'll try to uninstall it. This is the way you can use to copy anyone. So here I'll try to uninstall this particular VB guest. Okay, so what I can do, I can copy this. I think it is already copied. So I can say Vagrant. Okay, Vagrant plugin uninstall. So you have an uninstall, right? So you can use that. Okay, that option uninstall. And which plugin you want to use? Okay, VB guest. This particular plugin I want to uninstall it. So that what happens? It will uninstall. So now when it is booting, it will not check your remote repository for updates. Okay, so it is uninstalled now. If you want to install, again same thing, install Vagrant VB guest, so that okay, it will try to check it out. Here, this is the okay. So if you, whichever the project you want to add, okay, if you want to work, so you have to add the concern plugin. Okay, sometimes it may not require. Sometimes if you have a plugin, you can add it and you can go for it. Right. So let us see any AWS related plugins are there. Okay. If you look at AWS related plugins, see that okay, AWS Vagrant AWS DNS is a Vagrant plugin that allows you to set up a Route 53. Route 53 is the service in AWS. Okay, that will add your DNS records. Okay, we'll try to discuss. We'll try to discuss what is the Route 53 in AWS class. Okay, so if you have a one more provider, Vagrant AWS providers is nothing but okay. Here, whenever I say in a Vagrant provider, here the provider is VMware VirtualBox. Okay, when I say provider AWS, that means with the help of the Vagrant, you are starting the servers in AWS, Azure. Okay, there are n number of things are there. Okay, you can use whatever the provider you want based on your projects. Okay, you can select whatever. Okay. So in your case, if your rsync is not there, right? Parvez, in your case, if it is rsync is not there, so try to install a plugin called rsync. Okay. How to install it?
Hi Raghu, I just installed rsync. In fact, I have sent you the command. It was successfully installed and it was placed in the file directory. And now when I'm trying to reload or bring the Vagrant up, I still receive the same error. The plugin was successfully installed based on what you just showed me. So.
Okay. So have you checked with your boot prompt whether the VT enabled on your machine?
Yes.
Okay. Can you check with once CentOS 6 and let me know? Okay. Try with
So,
CentOS 6 once. CentOS 6 or Ubuntu. Try with that, so that if it is executed properly, we'll check into CentOS 7. Okay. First work with Ubuntu, then CentOS 6, then work with CentOS 7.
Okay. So
try to do that.
Just one question. Do I need to download Ubuntu again, or I have couple of VMs already on my Oracle box? How do I integrate them with this Git bash?
No. If you want to work with the Vagrant, you have to first time you have to download that box. Without box, you cannot go ahead.
So I cannot integrate the existing VMs.
those are all started with ISO images, right? Those are all that
Yes.
started with ISO images. You cannot do that.
Yes.
So first time you download with your Vagrant box from the Ashicap, then you can, as per your custom, as per your requirements, you can customize it as well. Okay, that is some different thing. I'll show you that as well. As of now, it is not required, but first initially you try to download it, and next time onwards you can use that. Okay? Let us see some quiz session on the plugins. Okay, so plugins in a Vagrant allows for what? So I have some 3 options here. What the plugins will allow. You can Google it or whatever, you can do it. And let me know what plugins in a Vagrant allows for existing Vagrant with a new functionality, adding a new providers, adding a new provisioners, doing provisioning work. Which one is right? The question is the plugins in Vagrant allows for what? The first option I can say, extending the Vagrant with Vagrant with new functionality, new feature I say. Second option I can say adding a new providers. Okay, third thing I can say adding a new provisioners. Or else doing a provisioning work, or else I'll say all of the above. So let us say what is the provisioning work I say first of all. What is the provisioning work? Provisioning is nothing but you are installing some software, right? So it is not that doing the provisioning work. So what is the option you say?
1, 2, 3. Raghu, is it 1, 2, 3?
One. I think it's one. Extending Vagrant with new functionalities.
And also 2 and 3.
So see with this particular one, we can do almost all these things. Okay, you can say all of them. Why? Because let us see one by one. You can extend the functionality, right? By adding more plugins, you can extend the functionality. You can add a new providers as well. Okay, the providers are nothing but if you see that providers. The providers are nothing but you can see that AWS provider, you can add Azure provider, you can add. Let us say, okay, new provisionings. Yes, you can do the new provisionings as well. Okay, see that provisioners. You want to add the doing the provisioning works. Most of the scenarios you can do that, okay, with the help of this particular. Okay, you can add different plugins based on your requirements, and you can do almost all the things. Okay, Vagrant reload is nothing but Vagrant reload is nothing but it will reload the Vagrant and it will try to whatever the one important thing. So let me show you that. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, the important one. Okay, so let us see some other option. Some one more question. Okay, which may help you. So let me remove this. Shall I remove this? Okay, let me remove it. So, okay, some plugins require additional configuration in a Vagrant file. Is that true or false? I am giving a statement side. Some plugins required additional settings, additional configuration changes, I can say, config changes in the Vagrant file.
I think it's
Is it true or false?
I think it's true.
True.
Yes. So we can as per our requirements we can change that plugins. So let us see some other options. Okay. So let us see some other options now. We try to understand Vagrant plugins, how to install, how to work with the plugins. So you can try to install it on your machine, and I can go ahead. So
Raghu, before that, I have a question here.
Yes, please.
Hello. Okay, so
Yes, please, go ahead.
Raghu, I already have a Vagrant file in the directory now. Okay, so if I'm trying to do a Vagrant init again, so do I have to provide the new name as Vagrant init Ubuntu, or do I have to delete the existing file and only then create a new file? How does it happen?
Better if you don't require that Vagrant file, delete it and create a Vagrant delete with your box name.
So basically, if I delete that file, it will not hamper the existing CentOS that I have already installed.
So if you have existing CentOS, what you do, you create one more directory. Better you create one more directory. In that you run a Vagrant in it, and you don't create within the same directory. You don't create a multiple Vagrant files. Okay, it will get confused because which Vagrant file I need to consider.
Okay,
so what you do?
I'll have to.
You create a separate directory. Let us say it is individual applications kind of thing. In the individual applications, you try to maintain individual directory. In the particular directory, try to create a Vagrant in it with the whatever.
So maybe under correct. Maybe under my current directory path, I can just do mkdir, create a new directory, cd into that, and then try to
in your home in your home directory, try to do that.
Okay, great. Because I actually received an error stating that the Vagrant file already exists. So I just wanted to check.
If you have multiple Vagrant files, it will try to give you one. It may give error, so don't try.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I'll try doing that. Thank you.
So let us
Raghu, one quick question. Yeah. I think you might cover this. I just wanted to check if you're going to cover it later. You mentioned a few minutes back that the box gets added to a repository. Where exactly? I think you'll be covering it shortly, right?
Yeah, just now I shown you, right? In your local folder, there will be a .vagrant.d. That is your local directory. In that, all your required function. Now let me have some small questions for all of you. Okay, so how do you start a virtual machine with the Vagrant up command, right? So am I right? So okay, what is the let me tell you one more question. So let me give you some true or false questions. A Vagrant box must exist on a local system before the Vagrant up. It is false, okay, right? So we can download it whenever you require. So that is Vagrant up, it will does it. How does Vagrant allow to keep your file synchronized between your host and the guest? Okay, let me show you the question. How does Vagrant allow for keeping files synchronized between your host and guest. You know, right? What is the host and guest? I think you know. So how to sync what between those two?
Using
let us see, let me give you some example. Let's give you some options. The options are like rsync.
Rsync, yes.
No, it is not right. Okay, say port forwarding, shared folders, shared folders. The other option is SFTP, RFTP, whatever. SFTP. What is the right answer? So we can use a shared folder, right? Am I right? If you want to sync any particular software or any particular data in your local machine, if you want to share with your, okay, rsync is a command to synchronize your host machine to the guest machine with the help of the configuration part, not the files. Okay, so try to answer this question. How can we stop your Vagrant managed virtual machines when it is running? I'll repeat the question. How can we stop our Vagrant managed virtual machine is running? So generally what we can do, you can say just go and say stop it, right? You can right click and you can say, okay, you can say here start or stop or whatever the option you want to say, you can do it. But Vagrant, with the Vagrant, how can we stop any particular server? Can you answer please? Just now I discussed, right?
Hold.
Yes, Vagrant halt. What Vagrant destroy does?
Remove the server.
It will remove entire server, right? So Vagrant suspend will pass the server, right?
Yes.
So okay, let us see one more question and we'll try to jump into the actual class now. Okay, let us say. So okay, let me show you. Let me cover one more thing. Let us say in this particular way, if I run the Vagrant status command, did we discuss Vagrant status?
No.
So okay, let me run the Vagrant status. When I run a Vagrant status, it will list you all the available servers. What is the status of that? See that it will tell you all the details. Okay, default. Okay, this particular one, it is a power off state. Okay, it is a power off state. So just now we ran a Vagrant halt, so it is in a power off state. So you can run a command like you can run a command like Vagrant. If you are in a Vagrant, if you are in a home directory, you can run a command called Vagrant status global. Okay, let me say help. You can run a global level so that it will tell you all the hyphen sorry, status name ID. Okay, hyphen if you want to get all the servers list, okay, with the help of with the Vagrant, whatever the servers are running, what is the status of that? Okay, all the things, if you want to get it, you can say Vagrant status global. I think Vagrant status. Okay, when I say Vagrant status, it will tell you an individual name or ID. Okay, so let me show you. Let me just try. Okay, let me get it. Okay, Vagrant status global. Okay, so if you want to get a global status of all the commands, okay, Vagrant global status. Yes, the command is Vagrant global status, so that it will list you all the commands, all the see that Vagrant global status. It will list you all the server status in your environment. Okay, how many servers are there? What is the state of that? See, only one particular server is running. That is a My Data Science Toolbox level. That is only one particular server is running. Right? So how to get a global status running or not? What is the status of that? You could run in this particular way. So these many servers are there, but in that only one particular running server is there. Right? So let me go with advanced kind of thing now. So if you want to manage a multiple missions, how can we manage it? Okay, in a single application or a single your project, how can we maintain the multiple servers? That is what we try to say. So in a C users, go ahead. I've created separate folder like a projects. In the projects, I kept all my Okay, directories. There is a one trusty folder I kept. It is a Vagrant file. See, it is a, if you know this particular file, okay, you covered almost all the configurations in a Vagrant. Okay, so we'll try to come across the Vagrant again and again. So whenever there is a requirement like a chef or wherever we require, we'll try to come over there. So if you look at this config file level, I'm trying to start multiple servers. One is app server, one is web server, one is a DB server in one particular config file. I removed all unnecessary stuff. Now I say Vagrant configure in a config. This is a variable actually. In a config, see that I have 3 servers. I configured 3 different servers. Config.vm define app server. I'm defining VM here. VM define app. Okay, now app.vm box is Ubuntu Trusty 64. App.vm hostname is node1.mylab.local. See that you need not to go cd etc sysconfig there vi network, right? I went to that network session. I given my own manually. I've given my host name. So you need not to go there, and you can directly say here whatever the host name you require. Then I want to copy, I want to give my own network address like a app.vm.network, my private IP address. In the same way, here it is a do, here it is the end for this particular block. Here it is a do, here it is the end. Here it is a do, end. But top level, here it is a do, here is the end, we have an end here. Right? So if you look at the second one, second section, second block of the web server, I'm saying that CentOS 6 is required to my server, and puppet.mylab.local, something I've given one host name, and I said I want to provision shell. The path of my shell is, whenever I say tilted one, it is nothing but in my local home directory. Sorry, in my home directory, there is a folder called projects. There is a folder called scripts. In that I have one common.sh. That particular shell script I want to execute in that. Then the port, the network IP address I require is this, and port forwarding is this particular one. So let me show you in my home directory. What is my home directory? My home directory is Rohit. Here I have a folder called projects, right? Go to the project section. Okay, projects. Okay. So where is the projects? 1 minute. Okay, in the projects, you could see there is a whatever the path I've given scripts. Let us go to the scripts. So we have what is the script I said COMMEN something.sh. Okay, you see that I am trying to open in the notepad. So what I did, I am trying to install yum install -y means okay, authenticating it, and I say I want to install git. I want to install unzip, I want to install nano, I want to install telnet, nc, whatever you want. Okay, you can say just I'm executing a script while system booting. I'm executing a script while system booting. So that what happens, it will try to install all the things. How to provision in your server? Okay, how to make sure that okay your softwares are installed or configure that. You can run a command vm.provision with the shell script I'm executing. If you are executing a shell, if you are executing a bash, if you are executing a Windows PowerShell, whatever you want. Okay, path is which path you want. Okay, where exactly the path. So it's some other. Let us say it is a web server. It is a DB server. If it is a web server, suppose. Let us say it is a web server. Here I want to install some CentOS-lamp.sh. In the same project, in the scripts folder, I said CentOS-lamp.sh. So that I want to install LAMP stack. LAMP stack is nothing but Linux, Apache, MySQL, LAMP, right? Apache, MySQL, PHP or Python. I want to install it. Let me show you what is the script. See that CentOS lamp.sh. Very simple, straightforward script I have installed. See that I installed yum install git unzip install httpd httpdevel tools. Okay, I want to config. Okay, add that particular httpd service I want to start it. chk config httpd on. chk config httpd on in the sense across the reboots I want to start I want to make sure that my services get started. Okay. So m install these many PHP kind of thing, m install. So these are all the scripts I want to, okay, already Git is added, right? So I want to install all these things in my server when it is booting. Is that clear? Any doubts in this particular config file?
Raghu, actually provision is installing the software.
Yeah, provisioning, installing and configuring your software on a node while booting or
Raghu, one question here.
1 minute, please. 1 minute. Parvez, we'll try to look at your issue once we class done. Okay, just wait for some time. Once this class is done, we'll try to look at your screen and we'll try to resolve it. Okay, just wait for some time, please. Yeah, please go ahead now.
Vijay here. This file is to be configured manually, is it? And it will not be overwritten by automation?
Which file you are talking about?
This is Vagrant file, configuration file.
Okay, I've prepared it. Let us say you require one more server. What I'll do, I'll copy this code and I'll one more server.
No, I know, manually you can add, but when you create like Vagrant init or something like that, will it get
yeah, remove all those. Don't require it. See, when I run, okay, let us say, okay, I'll try to create a one more project. Okay.
So you don't need to use Vagrant init anymore after that.
Yeah, you don't require it, but generally what I do, so let us say mkdir multi-server kind of folder, okay. So I created a multi-server kind of folder, I go into that particular one, multi-server. So what I'll do, here I say, just for standard point of view, I say vi, I'll try to create one particular file, vagrant init. So once I run a vagrant init, go there and I try to edit as per the requirements. That's it.
Oh, so first time only you have to do Vagrant init. After that, we just keep modifying it, right?
Yeah, you as per your requirements. Now I'm trying to modify it. So let us say here, I don't require this particular lines. These are all the instructions. So just I'm trying to delete.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is my actually base. Instead of base, I can write my own box name, right? So I can remove all those things. Okay. So here I can say I require an IP address, right? So what I can say, just I uncomment it. Okay, I uncommented it.
Okay.
So I'll try. I don't require. These are all the lines. These are all the instructions to us. Commented means is instructions to us.
So we can have as many Vagrant files. We can have different Vagrant init files, Vagrant files for different.
In a different application, different directories. You should not have a different Vagrant files in a one particular directory. Remember that?
Yeah.
You want to have a multiple application. You treat that it is your entire application. In your entire application level, you may have web app, okay, load balancers, okay, whatever the servers you have. So those are all you want to maintain in one Vagrant file. The Vagrant file should have support.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Any other questions, guys? This is one of the important file I can say. So in this particular Vagrant file level, whatever we discussed, we try to configure all the things. Okay, if you want to have your own customized memory size, let us say you want to have your own customized memory size, so that what you can say, you are in this particular VM.memory, you can say 2 GB or 3 GB, whatever the RAM is required, you can specify it. Okay, in that way you can go forward. So let me show you it again. Okay, anyway, I'll try to ping this one into your chat window. You have it on your, okay, you have it in your, in your LMS. Okay, we try to add it in github.com. Okay, Collabora, Git, Chef Classwork. Okay, go to this particular location. Okay, you could see that we have added almost all kind of code here. It is a chef recipes actually. So chef server, chef Jenkins, MOTD, AWS. Okay, it is a vagrant file. So if you see that vagrant file, okay, it is a one small, yeah, it is a one, okay, some example, you can see that. Okay, if you look at this particular example file, okay, I'm configuring here the Puppet. Vagrant config.vm is Puppet. So the CentOS6.x IP address and config.vm provider is, okay, VirtualBox, do, and memory is 2 GB and number of CPUs required is 4. Number of CPUs required are 4. So config.define node 1 is node 1, and you can say this is the one, my guest box, Beneto CentOS 6.1, and node 1 host name is node 1. Better you maintain your fully qualified domain name as I shown. Anyway, I'll try to share this particular my code as well to you, so that okay, you can maintain your own proper fully qualified domain name. In these things, what are the things you have to change? Okay, is that I copied everything? No, I think. So how much it is copied? If you know one thing, you can add, right? You can add anything. So it is lab.sh, then network till there it is copied, vm.network. So it is copied almost in, okay, almost all the things. So from here it is missing. Just I try to add it, this one as well. So you can, yeah, it is there in your LMS. So you need not to, you see, if you see that code, it will give you the link. Okay, it is a Collabora link. Okay, Collabora GitHub account. So that okay, you all have, okay, the link also I shared. You all have this particular Collabora link in your LMS. If you click on the code, so it will redirect to this particular page, and you can open it. So that if you want to have any particular VM, better try with my code I have given just now, right? Try with that, and you can go with that. So in this particular code, you have to change the IP address as per your requirements. The IP address here, you have to change the IP address. In your case, it may be 192.168.56 dot, okay, some X, right? You have to change your IP address. Maintain your fully qualified, okay, try to have a such kind of practice. You maintain a fully qualified domain name, your server name dot your company domain name.com. So that what happens, it will maintain a fully qualified domain name, so you don't find issues when you're doing a lab with Chef or Puppet. Okay, always try to give a fully qualified domain name. Okay, so let us say this, till now we use how to use a directly IP address. Let us say if you want to use a DHCP option. Okay, so if you want to use a DHCP options, so vagrant DHCP option, okay, DHCP option, let us say. If you want to assign a DHCP, you have to say instead of IP, you have to say type, and you can say DHCP. So that what happens, it will pick up that by default IP. If you don't want to get any particular specific IP, you can say type DHCP. Let me show you that. Okay, let me show you that particular one as well. So here I am saying instead of this particular IP address, here I can remove it. Here I'll try to remove it. Instead of IP manually giving, I'll try to assign this type is DHCP. Let me run this particular command. Okay, let me run this particular server. Now, how to manage these many servers? Let us say I'm going to that particular directory. First CD, okay, projects. CD first. Here you have an account. If you want to start any particular server, you want to start only app server, you can say vagrant up app. So if you want to work with all the servers you want to start with, you can say just vagrant up. If you want to work individual server, you have to specify that particular server. So let me show you first. Okay, we'll try to start all the servers. Vagrant up. When I say Vagrant up, if you look at the Vagrant file, try to start all the servers. It will try to start all the servers. So that it is trying to bring the machine app, web, and DB servers. So it is trying to start all the servers. Individual manage, you can manage your individual servers as well. Suppose let us say you change some configuration at app server level. So how to manage it? Vagrant, Vagrant reload app, Vagrant reload web. Suppose you want, now you added one shell script to one of the web server. You added one shell script to the web server. So you want to execute that shell script on your server. I can say Vagrant provision. You have a command called Vagrant provision and then server. Let me show you that. Okay. So if you want, explicitly if you want to provision anything, you can say Vagrant provision and that particular server name. Okay, so that okay, clear? Try to copy that script into your notepad and let me know if you have any issues. So try to look at that. Try to spend 5 to 10 minutes on that. Try to understand your script. Even I given a one chat window. Chat window I have given a link where the code is located. Try to look at that as well. If you have any issues, I'll give you 5. Okay, so, correct 10 minutes of time. Now it is 9:20. We'll take 10 minutes of break here. We'll start exactly 9:30. Okay. So I'm going to start the Vagrant session here. But let me quickly show you what are the rest of the things here. And we'll start the Vagrant session here. And we'll jump into the AWS. We'll try to see the cloud computing in AWS. Again, whenever we try to understand stuff, I'll come back again Vagrant. I'll try to show you how to provision with the chef or puppet and how to create your own virtual box. Let us say as per your company standards, you want to maintain a box, base box. How to maintain the base box as per your company standards. I'll show you that. Okay. And when we discuss AWS, we try to add AWS plugin. When we discuss the Docker, we can add a Docker plugin. That way we can. Right? Will it work? So if you look at the Vagrant reload, suspend, resume, destroy, global, see this is the command global status. The global status to display the status of all the Vagrant box. If you want to see, I have added one Vagrant box to my local repository. If you want to know what are the outdated boxes, you can run a command Vagrant box outdated. So if it will show you what are the boxes are outdated, what is the latest versions are available. It will show you that. So if you want to update it, Vagrant update, Vagrant box update, the particular box name. So it will update as per the remote repository.
Raghu, just one question here. Can you go ahead and modify the Vagrant PDF that we have in the LMS with all the things that we have discussed today and which is not available in the PDF file?
Okay. Can you tell me what are the missing?
Don't add.
Okay. For example, in terms of the configurations, in terms of the plugin, yes, extensions, plugins.
Extensions. Okay, I'll try to add it. Okay. The plugins is missing, and anyway, the quiz whatever I discussed, I'll try to add more quiz items in your exam point of view. Okay, we will get that exam.
Yes, because when we have to actually go back and refer to that, I mean, it will be easier for us to relate it to whatever we are doing today.
Sure. I'll try to add more things in a Vagrant file, and I'll give it to you by So we'll discuss again. We'll come back to Vagrant. We'll discuss some advanced things as well, like how to create your own Vagrant box kind of thing. I'll discuss that. Okay.
All right.
Chef and puppet. So we can. Okay, that is it. Especially we'll discuss with the chef when we are trying to discuss. We'll try to integrate. Okay. So Okay, so we almost discussed all the commands, whatever we have. Okay, like I'm closing this session now with a Vagrant. And okay, this is the DHCP option. How can we set up? If we want to set up a static IP in this way, you can set up it. And okay, so if you want to have an IPv4 address, you can set up. Okay, if you want to assign a net mask or whatever you want, you can assign in a network section level. Okay, auto config is no, false. Okay, you can specify a number of things. Anyway, I'll try to, as you said, I'll try to add this particular details in your LMS PDF. Okay, so what is the provisioning? We discussed the provisioning, right? So okay, the Vagrant offers some multiple options for how you can able to provision your missions. This is the standard uses of the platform. So Vagrant provision shell. We use a shell just now. Okay, one of the option we use shell. So we use shell. We have a different options as well running the provisioners. So you see that run always. Run always means whenever you're trying to execute, it will try. Whenever you say reload or anything, every time it will run. Kind of thing. So okay, multiple provisioners. If you want to have multiple provisioners, multiple scripts or multiple things, you can say every time web.vm provision, config.vm provision. Okay, if you want to have multiple things, try to go through this. If you have any issues or any concerns, you can let me know. Okay. Okay, this we have given one example. So there are multiple examples they have given. Try to look at and try to come back. Okay. So when I discuss Chef or Puppet, we'll discuss much more things. So okay, now see, I've started multiple servers here. In a single go, I started multiple servers. You can see here, there may be, so only one server started. There may be some issue with the web. Checking the this particular one is up to date, and config that particular one, port number, VM box CLI used variant, SSH -NATPF delete. So there is some issue with the Vagrant box, access denied kind of thing. Let me start only particular server called Vagrant up web. We'll try to start only one particular server called web now. We'll check how to manage a single server. Yes, you can manage with Vagrant up web. Okay, let us see why it is throwing an error. Okay.
Raghu, one quick question here. Vijay here. You have here the list of systems and operating system and all, right? List of boxes and operating system. Does it keep every copy of operating system? How is that? Or does it maintain each image of the host?
Yes, each image of the host, it will maintain its repository or whatever the boxes you add.
So how big it will be? Like some gigabytes each of them, or megabytes?
Yes. Based on your GB size, whatever you're downloading, right? When it is downloading, it is saying some 3 GB or 1 GB, 2 GB. It is generally it is a very less capacity. Why? Because you want to maintain very thin operating system, so that it will take very less.
So for real systems, it will have everything there, whole applications and everything is there. Means it will be real big, right?
See, initially, when you are trying to add into your repository, so we'll maintain very small one. But when you're provisioning anything, let us say as per your application required, as per your application required, you can set up the provisional with a provision script kind of option. We'll try to provision as per my requirement. There is some DHCP error. That is why it is getting error. Okay, let me edit that DHCP with normal one. In my laptop, it is multiple DHCP servers are there. That is why it is giving error. Okay. So if I save this, it will not show you any error. Okay. So Vagrant up web, so that it will. There is some issue with your DHCP options. Okay. DHCP on this adapter is incompatible with the DHCP settings. Two host only network interfaces are not allowed to overlap. So okay, that is the already one DHCP option is given to the NAT instance, NAT network. Again, you are giving the DHCP option to the host only. So multiple DHCP options will not work in a one particular VM. That is what the error is. Okay. So you can run just vagrant up. So it will look at all the vagrant file and it will start multiple servers in a single go. If you want to manage individual servers also, you can do vagrant up web app DB, vagrant reload web app DB, okay, vagrant provision. You can use multiple commands, okay, with this particular command. Okay guys, so just try to do this vagrant. It will very useful, the vagrant, okay. In a chef also they have tightly integrated with the vagrant. Why? Because you want to test any environments, they have integrated with the vagrant. And if you want to do the labs also, it will be very fast. Okay, it will be very fast with the labs. So if you have this particular setup, let us say you require a chef level 3 servers, you require one is server, one is node, one is workstation kind of thing. All the 3 servers you can put it into one file, and if you say vagrant start when you want to do the lab, just vagrant up. So it will start all the 3 servers and your lab will be ready and you can do the things. Otherwise, you have to install 3 servers, you have to set up the host name, IP address, all those things you have to do. Okay, you can avoid all the issues over here. Okay, so let me take a 5 minutes break here. Now it is 9:30 here, so we'll start exactly 9:35 or the, okay, those kind of things. So we'll start with the chef. Sorry, we'll start with AWS. Okay, we'll take a 5 minutes break here. Okay.
Babi kuti toshi pacha babi kuti toshi pacha web mama system baik na pacha to babi kuti nawa.
Yes. So you can see a big screen as well, the recorded video. I think you might have some issue with the recording video. Let me show you how can you increase the size of the video. Let me show you that. So once you log into your LMS, just there is the option. Okay, there is an option called uh, open a large screen kind of option. You see, just try to run that. So you could see that. Okay, look at the large screen. Okay, let me log into another browser kind of thing.
Hi Raghu, there's a lot of background noise from your end.
1 minute, yes. Okay, just a minute. Okay, just a minute, please. Try to check. Okay, when you logged in LMS. Okay, on the video you could have a right click option to open that particular browser. Okay, and you can start. You can open in the browser. You can make a full screen. Try to do that. If you have any issues, just let me know. Okay, try to do that. Try to do that and let me know if you have any issues. Okay, you can open in a big screen. that is not an issue. Okay, let us see the second topic. What I'm going to discuss today is one of the cloud computing. Cloud computing is nothing but, okay, we are discussing one of the infrastructure as a service, that is AWS. Okay, we are discussing the cloud computing. In the cloud computing, we have different options. Okay, different cloud computing technologies are there. One of the cloud computing we are discussing is AWS. Okay, so let us say we'll try to start the cloud computing. So what is the cloud computing and what are the options you have? And in our course, what are the topics we are going to discuss, that I'll tell you. So you see that the cloud computing is nothing but, okay, everyone says their own their own definition for the cloud computing, but okay, in general, if you want to make any particular service as a cloud computing, it should follow two things. Okay, it should follow two things. One is the pay-as-you-go model, and second thing is that availability over the globe, okay, through internet. These two things should follow in my application. Okay.
Your voice is breaking up, it looks.
Right.
Your voice is breaking.
So you can embed like embed.
We are not able to.
Can you check now? 1 minute. I'll try to mute all.
It looks fine. Looks fine.
So let us check again. So can you check now? I think my Wi-Fi device is now working fine. So
Yes, it's better. Can you please start over?
so let us start with one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us start with the AWS, one of the cloud computing service. So we'll try to understand what is the cloud computing, characters of the cloud computing, and implementation model, service models, all those things we'll try to understand, disadvantages and all. So what is cloud computing? Okay, in general, the cloud is a delivery of the on-demand computing resources. That whatever the compute resources you require, on demand you can get it. Everything from the applications to data centers over the internet and pay for use basis. If I want to say any application or any particular service is a cloud computing, it should follow two things. One is it should be access over internet. It should access over internet. And second thing is, okay, pay as you go model. Okay, second thing is pay as you go model. Pay for use basis. Let us say you are using a Dropbox, right? Okay. You are using a Dropbox. You are using a Gmail. Okay. You are using a, well, let me show you, Google Drive, right? You are using a Gmail. I don't, any issues, guys? There is smartphones. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll try to mute all of you. Okay. Okay, so these are all the cloud services only. Gmail, or else Outlook, or else you say Dropbox. So these are all the cloud computing only. Why I say these are all the cloud computing? So before understanding that, we have a different services. We have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These are all the three different services we have in cloud computing. Infrastructure as a service level, they'll give you all the infrastructure. It may be servers, storage, network, okay, databases, whatever the data center level, whatever you could see, all the things they are give you as a service. One of the AWS, okay, AWS is a one of the examples for the infrastructure as a service level. And platform as a service level, you could see that, okay, there is a Salesforce kind of thing, right? A Salesforce is they'll give you a platform where you can build the software. When come to the software as a service, you could see that Gmail is a software as a service. Office 365 is a software as a service. So previously what we used to do to get a mail service, we install a server on top of operating system. On top of that, we'll install an application for mail servers, and then we'll create a mailboxes and give it to the users. That is what the traditional way we used to do. Now what Microsoft saying, okay, we have created one cloud application called Office 365. You can create your account and you can use it as per the requirements and pay for only the whatever the accounts you are using. If you are using only 10 accounts, pay for only 10 accounts the bill. You need not to maintain the server, maintain the application, maintain the backups, maintain the storage, anything. Just you can take an account. Everything will take care by the Microsoft. You pay whatever you are using. Pay for use basis. So let us say in this example, you have started a small company called, okay, let us say bigbasket.com. Okay, let us say you have started something like a bigbasket.com. So your business is your business is something retail, some e-commerce, online goods sell, but you have to maintain the application over your internet, right? If you invest your entire investments on the servers, storage, applications and all, so your business is different and you are working on a different thing. Okay, anyway, you don't know whether this business is going to work or not. So let us say you've taken large servers, install application, but your business is not working. But you don't have that much of investments to invest on your hardware. So what you can do, just you can go to Amazon and start very small server as per your requirements, and you can start doing the work. If it is growing, you can increase your server size at any point of time. Okay, so whatever you are using, you can just pay for that. Let us say you are working for a company called Flipkart.com or else Amazon.com. Okay, let us see this particular example. Let us say we are using a Flipkart.com. It is an e-commerce site where they'll sell the products over internet. So online e-commerce site. So they announced a big billion day 50% discount on particular day. They announced a 50% discount on particular 2 days. So to achieve this particular target, in general, they are getting some 1,000 requests per second. Okay, people are hitting to the website something 1,000 requests per second in regular days. But when they announced a 50% discount, it may reach to more 3 to zeros, right? Am I right? It may reach the hits to something around, something around more 3 to 4 zeros. To achieve this particular target, why it will increase? People may purchase more products, more. Okay, they'll serve. Okay, they browse to the website. Okay, why? Because there is a 50% discount for 2 days. Okay, the number of people try to connect to that particular website and try to purchase different products. Am I right? So that the hits may increase to your website. Initially, you are supporting somewhere around 5 servers. Initially, for this particular application, you have around some 2 web servers. Initially, 2 web servers. To achieve this particular target, at least they require some 10 servers. Right? To achieve this particular target, they require at least 10 servers. Okay, let us say for these 2 days, they purchased more 8 servers and configured as per the requirements, make production ready. Okay, install it. It is working fine. After 2 days, will they utilize the rest of the 8 servers efficiently? No, right? The whatever the rest of the servers they have taken from the, okay, they purchased it and made production ready, will that used? No, right? So to avoid that particular scenario, what they can do is they can go to Amazon, and they can go to Amazon, okay, and they can start whatever the servers they require, n number of servers in a span of minutes. In a span of minutes, you can make that servers are production ready. Okay, make the server as production ready, and you can utilize that particular servers as many days as required. Let us say 2 days. Once it is done, please terminate. You can terminate those servers. So how many days you use? Only 2 days, right? You can pay only for that particular 2 days, right? You can pay only for that particular 2 days. So that is nothing but a pay-as-you-go model. How many days you use, how much you use, just pay for that. And you can do that in a span of minutes. In a span of minutes, and everything you can configure it, and you can go for it. Right? Is that clear? So this is one of the example we have taken to show you how the cloud computing will help us, okay, to achieve the different business requirements. Okay, so let me go through the PPT again. So what is the cloud computing? You can say everything from the applications to the data center, anything in your data center, over the internet, on pay-as-you-go model. So we have different services like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Different types of cloud computings are there. So infrastructure level, you can get all the servers, storage, networking, load balancers, databases as a service. Platform as a service level, they'll give you a platform to build your applications. Okay. So in a cloud level, we have a different types of the public. Okay, we can say public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Okay, public cloud is nothing but AWS, Azure, okay, Rackspace. These are all the public clouds. When come to the private cloud, anyone working on VMware, VMware vCloud Director kind of thing? It is nothing but a private cloud. Or else if you install your own OpenStack and you are managing your instances locally, that is nothing but your private cloud. Okay, hybrid cloud is nothing but, okay, you are integrating your private and public clouds, and okay, you are integrating your public cloud and private clouds, and you are utilizing some of the resources from the public cloud and some of the resources from the private cloud. You can say that those are all, okay, hybrid cloud kind of thing. There is one more cloud technology that is a community cloud. Community cloud is nothing but, let us say, some bank people, okay, let us say HSBC, HDFC, ICICI, Citibank. Okay, those people required a high standard security with some common features. So what they do, they create a community clouds. They create a community cloud, and there they'll try to maintain their infrastructure over there. That is a community cloud. Is that clear? So let us go with some other things now. Okay. So is there any changes happening? Yes. So per use basis we have discussed. The goal of the cloud computing is to apply the traditional supercomputing or high performance computing power, normally based on the modality and research facilities, and perform that. Okay. These are all the things fine. You can just go with that. So whatever I explained, okay, that is there. The shared IT infrastructure contains a large pools of the systems. Okay, yeah, this is the shared IT infrastructure is nothing but community cloud kind of thing. Okay, the systems that is linked together, often the virtualization techniques and everything. Okay, that is all fine. So the characteristics of this one: on-demand capabilities. That means whenever you require, you can, in a span of minutes, you can spin up your servers and you can use it in a production. So please, can you let me know some point that about the community? Community cloud is nothing but, okay, you can say similar, let us say the like-minded people kind of thing. Okay, let us say we work on a market research kind of company. So that, okay, there are some market research who is doing some surveys and all. So they try to create some similar features, okay, kind of community cloud. Okay, let us say cloud computing. The cloud computing, community cloud. Okay, community cloud. So if you look at the images, okay, the community cloud is nothing but, okay, so similar feature. Okay, the business, okay, let us say people are using doing the same business kind of thing, then they can create a pool of resources, okay, they kept in one particular location, and they can create a community cloud. So see that public and private cloud, enterprise cloud, and the community cloud. Community cloud is nothing but, you can say, just a number of companies, they can work together to build a community cloud. That's it. From that, they can utilize the features of the cloud. That's it. Okay, so let us jump into the further on this one. So on-demand capabilities you have with the cloud, that means whenever you require, you can start how many servers as you require. Whatever the capacity you require, you can spin up in a span of minutes. You can start servers in a span of minutes. Okay, so you can have a broad network access. Resource pooling is one of the advantage. Resource pooling, that means, okay, whatever the resource have, okay, that different companies can pool it. So with that, we can reduce our operational cost and hardware cost. Okay, rapid elasticity, okay, measured services. So whatever you are using, that will be measured, and then, okay, you have to pay according to that. Okay, so what are the on-demand capabilities? The business will secure cloud hosting services through the cloud host, provides, okay, which cloud you are using software. So ideally, on-demand is nothing but, okay, whenever I require, I can get it and make sure that that is a production ready based on some settings I have. Okay, you have access to your services and you can have to power to change the cloud services through the online console portal. That means what it exactly means. Let us say today you are using a 4 GB of RAM with a 100 GB of hard disk. You have an access to make it as per your requirements. Let us say you require 16 GB of RAM now. Immediately you can say, right click and say, make it as a 16 GB kind of. So you have an access to do whenever you want to do. Whenever you want to change, you can change it online. You can add or delete users and change the storage, networks, and software as you need it. So you have control on your infrastructure. Securely you can access. You have your control on your network, your server, storage, users, whatever. You can manage, okay, whenever you need it. Typically, you are the build with a, okay, monthly subscription, pay for whatever you are using. So let us say you started 1 TB of storage today. Only for that particular 1 TB storage, after that particular month, you have to pay that. Whatever you're using. But broad network access, your team can access business management solutions using that, the smartphone, tablets, or whatever you want. You can use it across the globe. Across the globe, you can access the network, your applications. It may be different devices. You can use those devices whether they are located in a simple online access point. Okay, if you have an online access, just you can access it wherever you want. You can say example as a Dropbox. Okay, this mobility is particularly attractive for the businesses, so that, okay, during the business hours or off business hours, employees can stay on top of the projects, or they connected, and they can work wherever they want, okay, whenever they want. Broad network access includes the private clouds that operate within a company's firewall. Okay, public clouds are hybrid clouds, you can access it from anywhere. The resource pooling I discussed already. If you want to have the pool of the server, you can share that particular resources and you can use it for your business requirements. The cloud enables you to employees to enter into the data within a business management software hosted in a cloud, same time from the same any location, and they can access any point of time. Okay, actually the meaning of resource pooling is nothing but whatever the hardware capacities you have, you can share that. In a single hardware you can install multiple VMs, and multiple VMs is for different companies, maybe the servers are different companies VMs. These are all the things we have discussed. Rapid elasticity, just I explained you, right? If you have I want to increase my server capacity in a single point of time, the multiple servers, yes, you can do that. So these are all fine. Let us see we have a public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. Different types of clouds are available. And public cloud, I discussed that the public cloud is one of the one in which services or infrastructure are provided off-site over the internet. That means the public cloud is somewhere located. Even Amazon don't disclose, they don't disclose that where exactly their data center is located, but it is somewhere in off-site they have. You can access the data center with your web browser, and you can start whatever the servers you require, whatever the infrastructure required. Amazon doesn't disclose where exactly your data centers are located. Okay. So there is these clouds offer the greatest level of the efficiency in shared resources. However, they are also more vulnerable with the private clouds. A public cloud is your standard workloads of your application is used to. Okay, these are all fine. I don't want to waste my time to discuss all those things. So just go through this particular document, guys. What is a private cloud? Okay, we discussed, right? A private cloud is nothing but your own data center level. Okay, you are installing either VMware vCloud Director, or else you can install your own OpenStack kind of application, and you can create your own data center and your own public cloud, your own private cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but you can have a combination of the public and private. Okay, we can say that hybrid cloud. Okay, we have three different types of that. Okay, if you just go through this in detail, each and every point, if you have any doubts, you can come back. So we have three different types of the models, cloud computing models: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So generally, on top of infrastructure, we can build a platform, then software. Okay, so infrastructure as a service level, you will get all the infrastructure like as I discussed, firewalls, the virtualization servers, storage, networking. Okay, then now just go through this one, infrastructure as a service. What are the examples? Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Compute Cloud, or Rackspace. There are n number of vendors are there for infrastructure as a service. A platform as a service is nothing but it will give you a platform to build the software. Okay, cloud platform services. A platform as a service are used for the applications and other development which provides a cloud computing options. So just try to go through these things, guys. So I don't want to waste our time to discuss theoretical one. So if you observe the platform as a service, Amazon level, they'll give you an RDS. RDS is nothing but relational database service. In Amazon, they'll give you one of the platform, that is RDS. On top of RDS, you can install your database, whatever the database it is. It may be Oracle, it may be MySQL. We'll try to discuss that. Okay, in our class, we'll try to discuss that. Okay, we'll discuss RDS.
Hi Raghu.
Yes.
Okay, Raghu, this I mean, whatever we are learning about cloud computing, is it only about AWS, or are we also going to learn something about Azure, because I think Azure also comes under the same platform as a service.
Yeah, no, Azure and AWS are most of the time they'll concentrate on infrastructure as a service. In our course curriculum, we are covering only AWS, not Azure.
On AWS. Okay. Can
Yeah,
we just bring in some example about Azure when we are comparing, maybe, because that will help us.
actually, very sorry about that. I am not into it, Azure actually. I didn't know. It is also, see, the terminology is different, but Azure also works as the same as AWS. Yeah.
Okay.
They also, in that instance, they say that virtual server, almost all the same thing. But okay, I didn't come across the Azure, so I didn't get a chance to work with Azure. So very sorry
Okay.
about that. I don't have much knowledge with Azure.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Okay. So one of the leading cloud computing technology in the infrastructure side, AWS. So that okay. So we are covering AWS, but I don't have much knowledge with Azure.
Fine, Raghu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll try to understand RDS in our sessions, and we'll try to understand some of the most useful services. With our course, whatever I'm discussing, we're trying, whatever the services we are discussing, I'm frankly speaking, I'm saying that with the Vagrant, with the Linux PPT, whatever we updated in a course, and with AWS also, you can apply for the jobs in the market. Okay. There are enough openings with the AWS, and if you know the basic understanding of the operating system like Linux or Windows. Okay, the software as a service is nothing but okay. They'll just I explained you right, Office 365 kind of software. They'll prepare everything and they'll make sure that they'll prepare everything and they'll bundle it and they'll give you as a service. Just like, let me explain you the simple scenario. So I discussed Office 365, right? So let us say a company called ICICIbank.com or else whatever the Citibank. So they went to one of the company called IBM. Okay, one of the company called IBM. They required a software to maintain their bank application, bank operations. Okay, they have given one software for the bank operations. Okay, after 1 year, they required some more features. They required some more features here. Again, what they do? They again go to Amazon. They again go to IBM and say that okay, there is some bug or there is some new feature I required. This is what. So again, they have to get the contract from IBM saying that okay, we do this, okay, fine, but we require this much of money. Again, suppose let us say their bank operations are done. They want to offer credit cards. They want to issue credit cards. Again, they go to IBM again. Okay, they require another application. They say that okay, in the same website, I required one more feature for credit. So every time whenever you are trying to update your features, you have to go to the IBM or whatever the service provider, whatever the provider, and you have to get updated and you have to pay for that. Rather than every time you are updating yourself or okay, contacting to the service provider. Now what companies are doing, they're creating their own software for your bank application. They say that ICICI, okay, they'll create some IBM people, they have designed some application -bank. This application embed everything, like it may be insurance, it may be bank operations, it may be credit cards, whatever. They embed everything and they are preparing their own application, that is a software as a service. Now this one they are selling it to the companies, the banks. IBM is preparing, Infosys is preparing, and number of people are preparing this particular software. So that as per the requirements, as per the bank requirements, they can choose that and they can go for that. Tomorrow, in this particular example, I have seen, okay, Office 365. Okay, some IBM Lotus Notes, they have given one more option, okay, called IBM Vers now. Okay, IBM, okay, Office 365 is a one particular software given by Microsoft. IBM has given one more option called IBM Vers now. This Vers, you can use it for your mail service. Or if they have given much better service, they can go for it and pay whatever they are using. Okay, it is nothing but a software as a service. They prepare everything. You need not to install, you need not to anything, you need not to manage anything. Everything they'll manage. Just create account for as per your requirements and you can manage. Okay, the software as a service represents the large compute market and still growing quickly. Software as a service users web to deliver the applications that are managed by third party vendor, and those interfaces is used access to the client. Just they'll give you an access point, just you can log in and you can use that. Right. So you might have experienced these are all the software as service in your day-to-day activities. The most software as service applications can be run directly from the web browser without any downloads or installations are required. Because the web delivery model, software as a service eliminates the need of install run applications in your local computers. So software as a service is easy to enterprise will streamline their maintenance and the support because everything can be managed by vendors. That's what I explained, right? The IBM is it will maintain everything. Vendors, applications, runtime, data, middleware, OS, virtualization, everything is maintained by your vendors only. Just you can use the service and you can pay whatever you are using. Right? Popular software service, okay, including the email and collaboration, customer relationship management, healthcare related applications, Google Apps, Salesforce, Citrix GoToMeeting applications, okay, Cisco WebEx, Microsoft Dynamics, Microsoft OneDrive. These are all the software as a service. What are the advantages? Cost saving, reliability, manageability, static heads, the strategic heads. These are all the advantages. So one of the important thing in a cloud computing is okay, they go for the cloud computing not only flexibility, cost saving as well. Okay. If you go to the physical data center to the virtual, okay, the cloud data center, at least they are saving some around 40 to 50% of the cost. Okay, so just try to go through this. Okay, we'll try to show you at least one demo today. Okay, we'll start with AWS. Advantages of the cloud computing. These are all okay. Try to go through this. Okay, will you go through this, or else do you want me to go step by step? I'll directly jump into the AWS. If you allow me to go through directly AWS, so that we can skip this particular unnecessary stuff and we can directly jump into the AWS.
I think we can go to AWS.
Okay. So okay, just go through this particular PPT and try to understand all the scenarios I already explained. Okay, so that go through it and we'll try to jump into the actual part of AWS. So today you try to create account with AWS. It is a free of cost. Okay, let me explain you with the AWS. What are the advantages you will get? AWS, you can create an account. You create an account with AWS, and that account can be accessed 12 months free. Okay, 1 year free subscription. But there is some limitations are there. I'll try to tell you all the limitations. Follow that. Okay, try to follow the same instructions when you're doing the lab. Okay, so very first time when you create an account, they'll charge some $1. If it is if you are using a USD, if you are using a Indian currency, they'll charge you 2 rupees. Okay, if they charge you some 2 rupees for the Indian INR. Okay, if it is INR, that is a 2 rupees. If you are using a USD, they'll charge $1. But that is also refundable, so you need not to worry about it. Okay. So try to create account. It is just like creating any other account. It is also same. So one time you will get a verification call from Amazon to get a code and all. So you'll get a call to your registered mobile. So let me log in to my AWS account. I'll try to show you today how to connect a server and all. So at least try to practice that lab today, and we'll start actual sessions from next week. So it is a bit slow. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, connected. Okay, so once you log in, you could see there is a n number of services provided by Amazon. Initially, they started as an infrastructure as a service, but slowly they moved into platform as a service and software as a service. Okay, they are giving
Voice is off now. You can't hear.
Yeah, I think it got disconnected. See,
I think he's having the same power issues.
yeah, because
It was around the same time yesterday
yes,
that
yes.
we lost his voice, if you remember.
Raghu, are you there? Raghu, Raghu, are you there?
I think Raghu might be off. I think chat is working. His screen is also off.
Yeah, chat
See,
is working, but
the session is being organized by a different organizer also. So Raghu is not the only organizer. That's the reason the session is still active. But apparently, as we know yesterday, it was around the same time
same
that the
time, yeah,
session
same
got
time, yeah.
disconnected.
sorry,
Yes.
my
Okay.
network is there is a blip. I could able to connect again. Sorry for inconvenience.
Great,
So
Raghu. We thought you're having power issues again, just like what we noticed yesterday.
I didn't get you.
We thought you had power issues, just like what we noticed yesterday.
Yeah. Just I connected through my dongle. Okay, we don't have any issues now. So I connected it again. So
Great.
we'll try to create account for today, all of you. I'll try to update the how to create AWS account as well. If you have any issues with creating account, I'll try to maintain one document to how to create AWS account. If you have an Amazon.com account, okay, if you have a Amazon.com, the shopping site, right? If you have an account with that also, you can log in. You can create a AWS account as well. Okay, you can use that. Better you don't use same account for AWS.com and Amazon.com. Why? Because here the something billing related information will be there. Okay, some billing related stuff will be there. So don't try to use same account for the multiple things like AWS and Amazon. Try to create a new account here. Try to use different mail account here. Okay, so that okay, we can avoid some issues. So if you look at the AWS level, these many services are there. Okay, if you see that EC2 is a virtual server in a cloud. EC2 is nothing but virtual server in a cloud. Container service. Container service is nothing but a Docker. Okay, you know, okay, we'll discuss Docker in our sessions. So they customized it and they created one more name called Docker Container Service. Okay, so here what are the services I am going to discuss in our coming next today and next class. Okay, that is EC2 we'll discuss. We'll discuss S3. S3 is nothing but simple storage service. Any of you worked on NFS or CAFS shared resources kind of thing? NFS in our Linux environment or CAFS in a Windows environment. It is just like a NFS and CAFS share folder, but it is more advanced than this. So you can, if you upload any content into S3 bucket, S3 level, it can be accessed across the globe. Okay, so one of the core service in Amazon is S3. EC2 is the one of the core service, and S3 is the one of the core service. And we'll try to discuss RDS. RDS is nothing but Amazon, relational database service. Relational database service level, we can launch a number of databases like RDS level. We have a MySQL, Oracle, okay, Amazon Aurora. There are a number of databases are there, so you can create. Okay, so it is a very fast and okay, you can see that launch DB instance. These many databases, relational databases, Amazon Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, Oracle. With these many database types are there. You can choose whatever the database you want. Within a span of minutes, your database server will be ready. So underlying operating system, underlying hardware, everything is managed by Amazon. Just if you know how to create a table spaces and all, that is good enough. Okay, how to create a table spaces in Amazon, sorry, in a database, that is good enough. Rest of the things are taken care by Amazon. That is the software as service, everything that taken care. What exactly your business to do that? Okay, so we'll try to discuss VPC. One of the important service that is nothing but in a public cloud. People say that when they say the cloud, what about the security? Security comes with a VPC. VPC is nothing but virtual private cloud. You can create your own isolated, okay, you can create your own isolated cloud in a AWS. Okay, that is a VPC, virtual private cloud. And we'll try to discuss Route 53. Route 53 is nothing but DNS service. DNS service is nothing but, okay, it is your phone book kind of thing. It will maintain your phone book will maintain your phone number and name, right? Whenever you dial your name, it will redirect to the number and it will call, right? In the same way, how to maintain your DNS resolutions and all, we'll try to discuss in a Route 53. Okay, these are all the four core services. And one more important service is CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a monitoring service by AWS. It will monitor all the AWS services, and we'll try to discuss IAM. IAM is nothing but user administration in cloud. User administration in the sense if you want to create a database administrator, you're a new user joined as a database administrator. You need to create an account for him with the proper permissions, and you give the details to him to log into the AWS account and all. So we'll try to discuss IAM. Okay, these are all the, and one more, if you require any particular services while discussing, I'll try to discuss as well. So these services, these are all the core services I can say. So you can go and easily work with this. Whatever we discuss, we can easily go and work with this particular services. So we also discuss. We'll try to discuss CloudFormation. It is something around. It is one of the important service. CloudFormation. So I'll try to discuss the CloudFormation as well in AWS. It is almost separately you are joining an AWS course kind of thing. Okay? We are trying to cover almost all the services. Okay, I'll try to give you all the lab documents for this. You can go step by step, okay, the lab document and can practice it. So let us start. One of the core service in AWS is EC2. EC2 is creating a virtual servers in a cloud. Creating a virtual servers in a cloud. So how to create a virtual servers in a cloud? If I click on EC2 dashboard, you could see number of servers are running, number of volumes are there, number of key pairs, elastic IP, snapshots, load balancers, security groups, all those things it is showing. So anyone worked on storage? Can you please respond? Can anyone worked on EMC or NetApp or any other storage devices? Trip or no one, right? Okay, no problem. So let me show you how can we work with it. So there is a one server is running. Then you see, okay, let me show you. The one server is started, but server details you could see here like this. What is every server? Okay, here I can say either instance or virtual server or okay or server, whatever it is, nothing but a one Amazon virtual machine kind of thing. Okay? Every instance has a unique ID. It will tell you what is the status of that, what is the type and size of that, in which region it is. I'll tell you what everything. Okay, everything we'll try to discuss in detail. Don't worry. So before starting any particular service, we need to understand the Amazon regions. If you look at the Amazon regions, we have a Amazon US East, Virginia, Ohio, California, Oregon, Central Ireland. These many regions, okay, Amazon has. Apart from these, they have one dedicated US government region, where only government servers or applications will be deployed. US government. So what exactly the region is? A region is nothing but a collection of the data centers. In every region, they maintain at least more than one data center. At least they maintain more than one data center. They call it as a, okay, they call it as a availability zone. They call it as a availability zone. Why they maintain more than one data center? Can anyone?
Because that's
Availability,
for that DR, regarding for
high
the DR.
availability.
Yeah.
High availability.
High availability and it's for DR.
Exactly. So Amazon makes sure that it is not Amazon responsibility to maintain your application's high availability. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, once again I'll repeat a word. It is not Amazon responsibility to maintain your application's high availability. Okay, so AWS regions. Okay, I can say availability zone map. So if you look at that, yeah. So okay, it is more visibility, much good visibility. So each and every region, it is a one region. Suppose US East. Okay, there is a US EU West. There are a number of regions are there. In that way, they recently started in India. India also they started one Asia Pacific okay region, that is Mumbai region. So each and every region, in a region, they maintain geographically separated data centers. They call it as availability zone. Availability zone is nothing but a data center in our words. So it will maintain more than one data center in each and at least two data centers in each and every region to maintain the high availability. But as an architect, your responsibility to maintain your servers in a different availability zones to maintain the high availability. Let us say your application installed all the servers in one availability zone. If entire availability zone went down because of some disaster or whatever, some okay, natural calamities, whatever. So entire availability zone went down. So your application obviously went down. Okay. So to maintain the high availability of the application, that is your responsibility to do that. Okay, I'll tell you how can we manage that. Okay, don't worry. So ideally, what we are trying to understand, AWS maintain different regions across the globe. Each and every region will maintain the availability zones. Availability zone is nothing but a data center in our terms. Is that clear, guys? Any doubts in this? In these words, availability zones and regions? So apart from that regions and availability zones, they maintain 53 CDNs. What is CDN? Anyone worked on CDNs? Content
Delivery network.
So they maintain at least Okay, that those are all cache servers kind of thing.
Yes,
So if you want to
proxy
have
servers.
your if you want to have your database access only, okay, let's say your servers are in US location, your business is doing access from India. So you can dump all your data into that particular content delivery centers near to the India, so that the people from India can access directly the CDN centers instead of the actual servers. So that is the CDNs. Okay, they maintain 53 content delivery centers. Okay, content delivery networks. Okay, that is the entire infrastructure details of the Amazon. So let me show you. Let me start one particular server. Okay, and I'll show you how to launch a server in a AWS level. Okay, so this is it is not given in detail. I'll give you separate lab documents which I prepared. That will be uploaded into your LMS today, end of the day. AWS lab documents. Try to practice today. So if I want to start any instances in AWS, what are the things you require? First is AMI. First term, what we are trying to understand? AMI. AMI is nothing but Amazon Machine Image. In Vagrant, we try to understand Vagrant base box, right? What is Vagrant base box contains? It is the image. It will contain, it is already installed on application operating system. If you get it and if you start it, you will get started the new server. Am I right? Please try to have an interactive session. Say yes or no kind of thing, so that they can understand.
Yes.
So see that. What is the AMI now? Why? Because I cannot see your screen. So only with the communication we have to establish it. So with the AMI, it's nothing but Amazon Machine Image. It is already pre-built image. Pre-built, okay, OS image. You can get n number of OSs, like it may be Windows, it may be Linux, it may be Ubuntu, CentOS, whatever. You can get n number of pre-built images that call it as AMI, Amazon Machine Image. The first thing what we require to install a server, that is a AMI. Second thing what we require is security group. Security group is nothing but a firewall kind of thing. In Windows, we'll have a firewall, right? It will protect your server to which you want to allow, which you want to deny. In the same way, security group will allow whatever the ports you want to allow. Rest of all will deny. So security group will protect your servers by allowing the only given values, given ports, given, let us say, I can say this particular, I have one server. That server can be accessed only port number 22 from my corporate office. So what it means? This server can be allowed only on port number 22 from my corporate address, corporate IP address. So no one can connect my server except my corporate people, my office people. Am I right? That is a security group. The third thing we required is key pair. The key pair. Key pair, why we require a key pair? See, when we install a Vagrant, we use the default username Vagrant and Vagrant, right? Username and password is Vagrant. So when you install manually any particular operating system, you have a chance to give a root username and password and all. But in this particular scenario, it is already pre-built image. So what you have to do, Amazon will allow you to create a key pair, okay, public and private key pair. The private key will be maintained by Amazon. The public key you can download it, and you can use that public key to connect your servers. The key pair is very important. If you lose it, if you lost it, you cannot connect to the server. Remember that? If you lost that particular key pair, you cannot connect it. Suppose it is compromised. Suppose you share it to someone else. That is also create problem in your team also, in your company also. If you share the key pair, people can access your server. So you have to be careful with the Okay, allowing the security groups, what exactly you want to allow or deny, key pair. Okay, these are all the important things. Let us start one server. Okay, let us start one server. Okay, and we'll try to see how can we manage it. So I say launch server. Very first step we are doing with AWS is launch server. That means launch instance is nothing but we are starting one instance. So remember that you, as a free trial, if you want to use it, click on free tier only, so that it will list you what is the free tier available. Amazon will give you 750 hours of free subscription every month. Okay, Amazon will give you 750 hours of free subscription per month. Okay, remember that Amazon will give you only 750 hours of the subscription. What it means by 750 hours, let me explain. Let us say I required an Amazon Linux machine. Amazon Linux is nothing but it is a free tier eligible. It is a CentOS machine kind of thing. So let me select Amazon Linux. If you see that Amazon has divided their servers into different families and types. What is the type? See, it is T2 micro. They given a 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM. They named it as T2 micro and they say that it is a free tier eligible. Remember that you have to take only this particular server as a lab practice. Okay? If you observe that the note they were given, micro instances are eligible. The T2 micro instances are eligible for Amazon free usage tier for 12 months following AWS sign up date. Today, if you sign up to 12 months, every hour you get 750 hours of micro instances each month when you use free usage of there. Okay, so ideally, let us say I started one server T2 micro, I used entire month, still it will comes around 720 hours only. But I started some around T2 micro server 750. I started in a single time, I started 750 servers. Your subscription will complete, that particular month subscription will complete in 1 hour. Am I right? The rest of the hours they will charge you. That means altogether you will get 750 hours of free subscription. If you start 750 servers in a single hour, it will entire subscription will get completed. So if you are not using the server after completing the lab, try to stop it. If you stop it, they won't charge. They don't consider that is running kind of thing. If your lab work is done, you can stop it. Okay, let me show you. What is the type and family? If you look at the type, they divided into T2 micro, small, okay, large kind of thing. If you go to any pizza center, how they divide their pizza size? Micro, large, double extra large. Based on that, okay, they'll charge, right? Right? It's the same thing. How they decided that the T2, the large, extra large kind of thing pizzas, based on the size of the pizza or else whatever the stuff they are adding in it, right? In the same way here also, if I say T2 medium, they say that 2 CPUs they are adding, 4 GB they are adding, 4 GB of RAM. If you say the family they divided into general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, storage optimized. If you see the memory optimized servers, they'll give you more memory than the CPUs. See the 2 CPUs but 15 GB of RAM. 4 CPUs. Sorry. One minute, please. 1 minute. Am I audible now? Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thanks for confirmation. So ideally what I'm trying to say here is, based on the size of the server, they divided into family and type. Whichever the type you require. Okay, whichever the type you require, you can select it. Okay? So let me mute all of you so that okay, if you have any issues, just unmute yourself. So okay, let me select a free tier eligibility, right? We are using a lab point of view. So I'm trying to select a free tier eligible. Make sure that you have selected the T2 micro, which is free tier eligible. Let us say configure the instance. I'll discuss these are all the things when we are okay when we go into next stages. As of now, I say add storage. This how much storage you require. By default, your root device they are giving 8 GB. If you require more storage, you can say add storage and you can add it. Right. So I can say add the tags. Tags are very important in a production point of view. Okay, tags are very important in a production point of view. Why? Because you want to know, okay, what is the server name, who requested this, who created this, what is the application it is installed. All those stuff you can add into your tags. Up to 50 tags you can add. With the tags you can understand much better. Okay, you can reports also you can read much better. The security groups. The security group I told you, right? The security group is a set of firewall rules that controls the traffic to your instance. What is the security group? Security groups is a firewall kind of mechanism. It will control the traffic to your instances. So if you want to create a new security group, yes, you can create a new security group. Let us say, okay, okay, I want to create something MA-SG security group. Okay. Now, as it is a Linux machine, it's allowing SSH on SSH port number, protocol TCP, port number is 22, custom, or if I say anywhere, if I say anywhere, anyone can connect. That means 0.0.0.0 by 0 means anyone can connect, but they should have proper authentication. Let us say I want to connect from only my IP. See, this is my IP. No one can connect except my IP. /32 means, what is the /32? What it mean by /32? Anyone?
Either 49 or 32.
With a
The
group
type
of
Range of, yes.
No. Range of, that is fine. Not 39 or 42 kind of thing. When I say by 32, let me explain that some part of the networking kind of thing. When I say by 32, it is blocking all these subnets. That means only this particular IP is allowed. When I say by 24, by 24 means 8 plus 8 plus 8. It is blocked 8 plus 8 plus 8. That means 3 are blocked. Now this instance is allowed from the 223.182.0.1 to 253. Got it? Here 1 to 253 IP addresses are allowed to connect it. 1, 2, 3. That means 24 means these 3 octets are blocked. Subnets are blocked. Okay, these addresses are blocked, and this is the allowed values. If I say 16, so what happens? These 2 are blocked. Okay, suppose this is your corporate network 222.182. From there, you can connect 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, or 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Am I clear? If I say 0.8, that means only first address is blocked. These are all the allowed values. If I say 0.0.0.0, if I say 8 means first block is blocked. If I say 0 means everything is open. Anyone can connect. Am I clear this? Okay, just you see that if I say by 32 means only from my IP I can connect it. If I say anywhere, it is showing that by 0. That if I say anywhere in the sense by 0. But see that warning, rule source with /0 allows all the IP address to the access to your instance. We recommend setting up the security groups to allow the access from the known IP addresses only. The known IP addresses are, this is my known IP address, or else you can say custom and you can give your own company IP address, your own company network. Let us say my company network is 172.128.128.0 by 24. This is my company IP address. So that I can only from this particular IP, from only this particular range, from 128.1 to 253 can connect it. Okay, that is my security group. Okay. So suppose let us say I install some ICICI, I am going to install ICICI bank application over there. So I can say on port number HTTPS, anyone can.
Raghu, Sangeeta here. There you have mentioned the 119.49/32. Instead, you can just leave it as 119.49 itself. No, Raghu, why should you mention /32? Because anyway, you're blocking all the four. All the four parts.
Okay, so generally, when you are defining the subnet, you have to tell which subnets you want to allow. Okay, that is a networking topology. If you want to define, suppose let us say you want to, okay, now you want to allow all the your office network. How can we say that? We cannot say one particular IP address, right? You have to define entire subnet. The subnet you have to define by either 1 to 32. 32 means only that particular IP address.
So that is a mandatory one. If it is only restricted to that IP, then we'll have to mention it as /32.
Yes. That is a best practice. You can do that in that particular way. So that it is saying that whichever the option, you want to say 27 or 32, which one you want? 32. 32 means I am blocking everything. Okay, so let us say I installed some bank application or any application in that. People see, I hope you all know what is port number 22 is and what is the HTTP and HTTPS does. From outside people that they need not to connect the server on port number 22. So what I am allowing on port number either HTTP or HTTPS 80 or 443, anyone can connect it. That means on a browser people can connect it, not to the terminal. Am I clear with this?
Yes, Raghu.
No doubt. No doubt. So I can review and launch the server now. I can review and launch it. So while launching, we didn't define as of now the key pair, right? Which key pair I want to use. Okay, what is the private key and public key? One important thing here. So you can create a new key pair, or else you can use an existing key pair. Proceed without, okay, create an existing key pair. If you have an existing key pair, you can use it. Okay, remember that in general production level, one particular region, they maintain only one key pair. With that key pair, they can connect all the servers. Remember that with the one key pair, you can use the existing key pair for all the rest of the servers, and you can maintain only one key pair to connect all the servers. But you have to be careful with the key pair. You have to protect that, and okay, you have to be very conscious with that particular key. Okay, so you should not share that key pair to unauthorized persons, and you should not lost as well. So as of now, I'm trying to create a new key pair for your reference. I'm trying to create there. Let us say may key kind of thing. Okay, I have a number of keys as of now while showing the demo. So I'm saying make key. I'm trying to download the key pair. Okay, it is downloaded now. For this server authentication, we can use this particular key pair now on notice. Say launch instance. Now server is in a span of minutes. Your server will get started. In a span of minutes, see that your server is generally in a pending state. What does mean by pending state? Let me show you. Let me show you that what is a pending state and all. So generally, it is in a pending state. What does mean by pending state? In a Vagrant, we have seen that, okay, Vagrant box downloading, right? It is also same thing. The image is first downloading, and then it is configuring, then it will into running state. Yes, what is the life cycle of the VEC2? It will pending state, and then it will go to the running state. The running server, you can stop it, start it, terminate it. You see that it's running in level. If it is in a running state, either you can stop it, reboot it, terminate it. Okay, so suppose your work is done today. Let us say your project, you are working in a project. There are some 4 servers are there, very large servers. Some around 2 months you use it. Then you want to stop some 4 months. So there is no work on that particular project for 4 months. What you can do? You can go and stop it. Suppose your lab is done. Your lab is done. You can go and stop it so that you can avoid the charges. In a free subscription you are using, instead of wasting hours, so you can go and stop it whenever your work is done. You want to reboot it, you can reboot it. Suppose this server is not you are going to use, you can say terminate. You can say terminate. Is that clear? We have 3 states. We can stop it, either reboot it, or terminate it. If it is in a stop state, okay. Okay. If it is in a stop state, we can start it. Okay. In this way, we can launch the server. Let us say we'll try to connect to this particular server. Okay. We will try to connect it and we'll try to wind up today's session. So we are running out of time. So if you want to connect it, how can we connect it? Just say connect. Okay, you can say just connect to this particular one. But okay, if you see that connect, they are giving an option called SSH-I. What is your key name? My key. See, remember that mykey.pem. This is what we downloaded, right? And EC2 by default, all the Linux machines will use EC2-user is a username. Just like Vagrant we used it, right? In the same way, EC2-user is a default username, and this is my server name. Make sure that before going to that, you have to say chmod 6400 to mykey.pem. Okay, make sure that it is a 400 mykey.pem. Okay, that read permissions we are giving. So either way you can connect with the putty. Okay, you can connect to the putty. Remember that we have for this particular server. If you look at for this particular instance, we have a public IP and private IP. What is the difference between public IP and private IP? The public IP can be accessed over the network. Private IP within internal. Okay, if you are in your data center, suppose they'll maintain only private IPs. Within a data center, you can connect it. Public IP can be accessed over the globe. In general, in your production, you don't require any public IPs. But as of now, we want to connect it from our network, okay, as a lab point of view. So we have taken a public IP. Okay. So let me connect through the public IP. This is the IP address. Okay. So only one thing you have to consider here. If you want to connect any Linux machine in AWS, if you want to connect any Linux machine to connect Linux server, we need to connect through your key pair keyname.ppk file. Generally, we download with the pem file. We download key.pem file. We need to convert it to ppk file. We need to convert into a ppk file. Either you can do in this particular way, or else if you are using a git bash, right? If you are using a git bash directly, you can connect it without converting. I'll show you first how to convert it, and then we can go forward. Okay, within 8 minutes. Okay, by 11 we'll try to finish it off. I'll show you how to connect it, and we'll try to wind up. So there is one software called Puttigen. You can download that Puttigen, and you can use it for converting your PEM file to PPK. This is a one-time doing. Okay, Puttigen. The Puttigen is you can download it from the putty.org. Go to the putty.org and download the Puttigen software, and then you can convert your PEM file to PPK file. So once you converted that, you can connect it to the putty. Okay, let me show you how can we do that. Okay. Okay. So okay, there is this is a Puttigen. You can download it from the putty.org. Go there and open it. So what you can do, first load the key what you downloaded. Click on load. The step-by-step procedure, I'll give you a document, don't worry. So click on load and select the downloaded PEM file. Okay, where it is in downloads location. In downloads location, just I downloaded select all the files, and you could see that, okay, the may.key.pem, open it. Then click OK, save as private key, that's it. Load, select the key file and save as private key. Okay, that's it. So on my desktop, I'll try to say it as, okay, may.key. See, already extension is in .ppk file, you need not to do anything, just save it. So I saved in a desktop. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll try to connect the server. So to connect the server, what is your public IP? What is the public IP? This is the public IP, and try to connect this one over, okay, here. And remember that if you want to select the key pair, go to SSH, authorization, browse the key, whatever just you converted, that is a maykey.pem ppk, and open it. Open. So in this way you can connect it. Okay. Default username is EC2-user. So you connect it. So in another way, how to connect it? From the git bash, let us say connect. So it is saying that first you make sure that your key pair is okay, having the read permissions. Open a git bash. Okay, it is in download section, right? cd downloads. In downloads, we are trying to run a command called chmod mykey.pem. So once it is converted, okay, already the key pair in my home directory, my local directory. So I am trying to run a command directly this one. Okay, so that you can directly convert it without any converting PEM files and all. If you want to connect directly, you can use this particular way. SSH-I. What is the PEM file you want to use? mykey.pem. Here you say yes. That's it. Now you are in Amazon Linux AMI. You can say now dollar is nothing but you are a normal user. If I say sudo su-, you will be in a super user. Slash is nothing but, okay, here it hash mark is nothing but you are a super user. Now you can do whatever you want. Clear? So how to connect it? From the git bash, the two commands you have to execute. One is you have to make sure that it is a 444 permission you have given. 444 in the sense read permission, and you run a command called, okay, ssh-mykey.pem. Make sure that this key is in your home directory, in your working directory. Okay, so that you can execute this command to connect it. So try to practice this. I'll try to upload the document in LMS to create a key pair, create a security group, connecting a server, creating Windows and Linux machines and all. Make sure that you all do this. And in the next week, we'll try to do some advanced things in AWS, and we can complete it in the next week. So thanks for attending, guys. So I've taken a bit extra time. So I hope you understood that today's class.
Yes, Raghu, can you also look into the error that I received?
Sure. Rest of the people can leave now. Whoever having issues, okay, I'll try to take the screenshot of them and try to look at them. The rest of the people.
Thank you.
Thanks for attending. Thank you.
Okay,
Have
thanks,
a good
Raghu. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week. Yeah.
Yes,
Do you want to share? Okay, Parvez, I'm making you presenter now. So, okay, you can share your screen, and okay, we'll try to do that one.
Sure, just give me a minute. Okay, let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, I could able to see now.
Okay, great. So this is where it is. You can see here, I have downloaded the rsync plugin as well. It is available,
Okay.
but when I try to go and when I'm trying to run, that's basically.
Don't run rsync. Okay, vagrant.
No. Just try doing that. It's
Okay, let us see what it says. CentOS 6 up to
sure.
and let us see what it is saying.
Yeah.
Okay. The rsync would not found in your path. Make sure that rsync is properly installed on your system and available in path.
Okay, you want me to take you to path on the Windows?
No. Let us do one thing.
Sure.
Let it be. So what you
Okay.
do is try to remove that particular rsync on you from your plugins.
Okay.
How to remove it? I think
Vagrant.
that's right. Then
Remove,
plugins,
yes.
plugin.
Plugin. Remove.
rsync.
What is it? rsync. Okay. This should be good enough. Okay.
Uninstall.
Uninstall it is, okay. Uninstall. Okay. Yes, it has been removed. So if I
Okay. Can you show me once the vagrant file? ls, can you run ls vagrant file is there? Okay, fine. Vi vagrant file one.
okay.
Okay. So can you go up? We'll see what is the server you have configured. Okay, wow, yeah, it is now good. So CentOS 6 you have given, everything is fine, rest of the things. Okay. Okay, fine. Now try to close it and we'll try to run vagrant up now. We'll see.
Okay. It would still say the same thing as far as I know because I tried this couple of times.
Okay, let me check.
Yes.
It's not working.
Okay.
We'll look at it. Okay. So it says that rsync would not found in your path. Okay, let me check why it is. So when you install Vagrant, when you install Vagrant?
Yesterday.
Not 1 minute. Let me check. 1 minute.
Sure.
Anyone getting same kind of issue? Okay. Try to do one thing. Okay, you don't make me present. You be a present. You be for some moment. This I think I faced some time long ago. Okay. Okay. Do one thing. In your Vagrant file, try to remove the Vagrant. There is a sync folder, is there? Or else you can do one thing. Try to do one thing. I'm giving you a chat window. Try to update your Vagrant file with this. Okay, try to open your Vagrant file Okay, either you can update this particular way. I could not see your screen, I think. Where is your screen? I cannot see your screen as of now, Parvez. I'll make you Parvez. I'll make you presenter again. So try to add yes to there. Try to update that.
Okay, I still haven't received anything, Raghu.
In chat window I've given, right? Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay. I think I've given a chat window last of this. Now you didn't get it. Come on. Okay, I've given a chat window now that the command.
Yes, I've got it now. Okay.
Yeah, previously there was only argumenters kind of option there. I didn't see that.
Should I directly go ahead and run this command?
Yes. No. In your Vagrant file, you have to update it.
Okay, in my Vagrant file. All right. I can VI from here only. I can drag off. I think I already have the Vagrant. Yes, here I have the Vagrant file open.
VI Vagrant file and try to.
Config.pm. Okay. From which parameter? Sync folder. Sync folder. Okay. Yes. That line. Okay.
Parvez, do one thing. If you have still issue, just raise a. I'll try to create a document. I'll try to check it and try to resolve it. Try to send an email to that support team.
Okay.
For other people, it is already getting late. So we'll try to wind up this. But okay, make sure that it is working well, because till next week, if you don't do any lab, okay, that will create a problem again. So we
yes,
have to
it's
make
going to
sure
be a
that
problem, because I don't want to lose time until we get into the next session, because I wanted to have some hands-on practice session. That's the reason I tried downloading it.
Even that is what my expectation. So what we'll do, if you have still issues, just try to send a mail to the support team. Immediately I'll get into touch with you. So I'll try to send you a solution. Okay? Just I remove that comment, if line, remove that comment and try to add the line.
Reload.
Hope it works now. It is working,
Yes,
right? Previously there was issue with that. Now
correct. It used to come till here.
at least it is progressing now.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it is something progressing now. Let us see how it is working. So if you still having any issues, just send a mail to the support team immediately. Is that okay? Okay. You can Google it.
Sure.
Okay, you can Google it and do it.
Yes, I'll do that. Okay, it's up to date. Fine. No errors, Raghu.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for joining, guys. See you in next week.
Thank you.
Hope you are able to follow my classes. Any concerns or anything, any doubts, you can raise immediately, so that okay, we'll try to resolve those. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a great day. Bye.